take away from the contract renegotiation with Joe Mixon as Brown?
I am appreciative that Joe did what he did. Uh, he uh, agreed to help out. We have a cap. A cap's like a big pie. Every team has the same pie. You have to distribute pieces. Pretty soon, there's no pieces. There are no pieces left. And that's what Joe did. He stepped up and said, well, I'll take a little thinner slice, and that leaves a little bit more to distribute to some other guys. We have a list of people who are at the trough or hope to be soon, and they want to be fed fully. They should be. They've deserved it. They played well. But it's, in the end, mathematical. There's only so many pieces in the pie. And Joe's made it a little bit easier on us. But we still have a very difficult situation to work through because we have good guys that want to get paid, and understandably, they want to get what they can get.
Mike, another year of training camp is here, and after all the time, the years you've spent with this organization, you still feel it's important to go out there to practice, spend time at practice, be around the guys. Why is it that you choose to still do that, go out there and be on the golf cart, the gate or whatever, and be out there spending time with the players?
I've done it all my life. It's what I do. It's what I know. Maybe for some people, that wouldn't be fun. My definition of fun may be warped, but it's fun for me. I like seeing the guys, being around them. I am happy watching them play catch. I think I see things as they do what they do. And I've been very lucky. And not many people get to do what they want to do. This is what I want to do, and I've been doing it, I've been around it since I was 5 years old. My first memory is I wanted to go to the Massillon High School game. My dad coached Massillon High School. I was 3 years old, and they put me in bed, and I thought that was humiliating, and why couldn't I go to the game? It was big time stuff for me at that age. It's been that ever since.
When you look back at the last 2 years and think of your legacy, your father's legacy, how much of the last 2 years meant to you?
Well, we came close. We still want to get the final one. But we played well these last 2 years. We've had good teams. We've won back-to-back divisional titles. We've never done that before. We were in the AFC Championship game twice, won it once, went to the Super Bowl. That means that we're running with the leaders, and we want to be the leader. Everyone does. We're just a little off, but we're close. And I fantasize about doing the final one. I'd like to get that one sometime, and that time is pretty close to now, I guess. So why not?
At this point in your life and career, what would it mean to get that Super Bowl ring?
Well, it would mean a good night's sleep, but I'd feel good about it. That's what my ambition is. I'm not going to do anything great, but I have the ambition for the football team. I think it would mean a lot for the city. I think these last 2 years when we were in the playoff runs, it lifted up the city's spirits. I really felt that. You'd go around and you could just feel it in the air, the excitement. We've got other teams looking to do that now. The Reds are playing great. The soccer team never loses. The UC is going to be in big-time football and basketball. The new league. And Xavier's done well at basketball. This is a good thing for Cincinnati.
Mike, how close are you to making Joe Burrow a Bengal for life?
How close am I to making Joe Burrow?
A Bengal for life with a new contract.
How close am I? Well, we would agree, you and I, that Joe Burrow is the heart of the football team. But I have agreed, and Katie as well, my daughter, that we are not going to talk publicly about the negotiation with Joe Burrow. His agent has agreed to that, and he has stood by it. And I plan to stand by it as well. So much as I would like to answer that, I fully understand why you ask it. I'm going to have to just say not this time.
If your dad was here today, what do you think he would say about Joe Burrow?
He had some pretty good quarterbacks in his lifetime, and he would like Joe Burrow. He would like his intelligence. Joe Burrow sees things when he is out on the field. He understands what he's about. He can make up for the faults of others. He is a top level quarterback. And I don't mean just for this year, but I'm looking back myself for 70 years or more. And my dad would look back farther than that. Otto Graham was a great quarterback. He could make something out of nothing. It wasn't planned. He would just find a way to find an open receiver somewhere and get it to him. And you'd wonder, Joe can do that. And it's easy to say, tell him to do something like that. If you can do that, you're in the top rung of quarterbacks in this league.
Why did you decide?
I'm sorry?
Why did you decide to have that agreement with Joe, his agent, to not talk about the negotiations at all?
We thought it would be helpful not to be distracted. He said, what? Well, let me tell you, let's not do that. And we'll see if we can get it done in a business-like way. We're trying. He's trying. We'll have to see how it goes.
Katie mentioned that Joe wouldn't necessarily have to be the first extension done. When you look at T. Higgins' situation, where does that stand?
Well, they all go together. You have a cap. It's so much. Take this table and pretend it's a pie. Well, if you give this much to one player, that means there's less to give to another player. Who is the key player? Who should get the biggest piece of the pie? I think we all know who that is. And if that gets resolved, then we'll know how to proceed better. We don't want to do something that makes the big deal impossible or hard. So there's an order there. It is very complicated in the sense that how long do you ride with that particular outlook before you change it? Because you want to get them all done. You're going to get some of them done, not all of them. And you'd like to get at it, but we don't want to make it hard on the number one deal.
Mike, you were asked briefly about legacy, but when people look back decades from now, 40, 50 years from now, on your time with the Bengals, your father's time, and your family's time with this organization and in football as a whole, what do you want the legacy of you and your family to be?
Well, I want a good team. I want to stay in the city and have them respect the team and the players and coaches. When it's done, it's done. You're out of the picture, and don't worry about it. It's gone for you. But for that, what's left behind, I want those guys to thrive. The people here, the team, the fans. I just want it to work. And you've seen just the last couple years what it meant to the city. It just lifted up the whole city during that playoff run. That's a nice thing to see. My dad had a saying, winning makes believers of us all. And over the last couple years, I've had occasion to ponder on that some. And for me, I'd like to keep the winning going, keep the believing going. Have this be a fun thing for Cincinnati.
In your career, have you ever had so many players that you needed to give the pie to, so to speak? You mentioned the salary cap and everything. Have you ever had this?
Well,
So many guys that were ready.
I'd just shape it a little differently. We have some good players that need to be fed, and that's a challenge. It's mathematical. You get a bag of corn and you have 10 hogs. Well, how are you going to put that out to them? The bag's going to be gone, empty, and some of them aren't going to get it. Well, that's too bad, and that's pretty much how this system works. You prioritize the ones that you think are the ones that matter most, and I guess you guys have an idea who might be the number one guy there. That's for sure. And then the others, yes, we want them, but we may not be able to do all of them. Last year we lost some guys. The year before we lost some guys. This is the way it works under the system that the NFL has. It's actually a good system. It keeps competition lively, but it's a hard system. If you're doing pretty well and you got some guys getting to their contract moment, you've got a problem, and we'll try our best. That's all I can say.
Mike, with the stadium lease, is there any update on discussions with the county about a long-term?
We want that to happen. We've reached out. I don't want to get into that discussion either, other than that it's extremely important to us to get that done. That's the whole foundation for this team. But we don't own the stadium. We're a lessee. We have a lease, and a lease says that the county, the owner, will keep it up to NFL standards. That's part of the deal. And it's more complicated than that, but that's the essence of it. We want to stay here. We want this stadium to be good for us, good for our fans. Look around at what the other teams are doing. That's our